welcome to this week's episode of the EFX Loop. I am your host, Jay Byrne. What I'm doing this week is a part 2 to the previous video where I was upgrading a Squier Classic Vibe 60's custom Telecaster. Telecaster Custom. I always get that because it's weird to say Telecaster Custom instead of Custom Tele. It seems backwards to my brain. But anyway, so what I had done is I ordered new pickups, which in the last video you saw were the Fender Pure Vintage 64 Telecaster pickups. And I also got from Dylan Talks Tone, if you're familiar with YouTube guitar guys, he's pretty popular, and he sells pickups and control panels and pots and all that stuff. I got a pre-wired Telecaster like control panel with the knobs and the switch and everything, which is cool because it's all upgraded parts. 250K pots. I think it's an Oak Grigsby switch. The cloth wiring. It also has a pure tone input jack, which we will talk about in this video. Anyway, so I finally got my Dylan Talks Tone stuff. So now I've got the pickups in, and now what we can do is we can put everything else together. So here's the rest of it getting put together.
All in all, song with words to sing along. I've all but just begun to bring another song to. I just need to make this come alive. Bring this thing to
Okay, so as you saw in that footage, I ran into a little bit of a problem with the input jack. I ended up having to get a different type of jack plate to put the input jack through, and unfortunately it didn't fit. So the Pure Tone input jack, for the time being, I had to use the original input jack from my Telecaster. I just unsoldered the Pure Tone and put the regular stock one from the Classic Vibe. So for this video, that's what's in the guitar. I do have on order a different jack plate that is big enough to fit the actual, it's the proper size to screw in the Pure Tone, because apparently the Pure Tones, it's larger and it just does not fit in that jack plate that I got off of Amazon, which I assumed it would have, but of course, like everything else, every time I order something, it's not the right size, because you're dealing with all these weird like size. See, the stuff you're getting from Dylan Talks Tone, it's modified, it fits, the panel, it fits in a regular Squier Telecaster. However, stuff like the input jack, it's all in the pots. They're the sizing that the Fender, like actual American Fenders use, not the import stuff. Like the made in Mexico stuff and the, you know, the Squiers and stuff like that. They use a different sizing. It's like metric or something. It's smaller. It's always a little bit smaller for some reason. So I was able to get everything working fine, and I got it all soldered together. So I'm going to do a little bit of a demo here so you can actually hear what the guitar sounds like. Pretty much 98% upgraded. I still got to get the input jack, but I don't think that's going to make much of a difference in the tone. I will say that I noticed, I don't know that you can hear it in the video, but I did notice that it sounds more open now with the new pots and the new switch. Just something about it doesn't sound as congested. It has a cleaner, more open tone to it. I mean, maybe it's just a placebo effect, but to me it sounds a little bit better than it did, even with just the new pickups. So the thing's sounding awesome right now. So yeah, here's a little demo of what the guitar actually sounds like. So for those of you who watched the previous video, I did everything clean straight through the amp. Literally, this is the clean channel on the amp with a tiny bit of reverb. None of my pedals are activated right now. I'm gonna do that just so you can kind of hear, we can see if maybe there is a difference between the two. I don't really think that there is, but we'll see, okay? And now for fun, I'm just gonna play how I would play. Alright, so here we are at the end now. And what are my thoughts on this whole process? Was it worth it? Yes, 100%. It turned what was already a good guitar into what I feel sounds like a great guitar. Like, it sounds and plays so... I mean, the playability, I mean, that's just my own. I've done setup work on the guitar, and that's just my own, you know, whatever, the playability. However, I do feel it just feels nicer to play. I don't know why. Maybe it's the pickups, maybe it's the sensitivity of the pickups and the attack. It's just better. It's more fun to play. And it just sounds really nice. It's got that telly sound that I've always kind of wanted but never had. I've gone through a couple of tellies and I never get that sound, and this has the sound. The telly sound that I've been trying to find for a long time. So now it's awesome. Even though I've beat the hell out of this guitar in the process of actually changing out all this stuff, it's little nicks and dings here and there. It's not a big deal. The guitar still looks great, plays great. There's nothing wrong with it. So I do have the input jack on the way, which will be the proper, like, Fender size input jack. So it should thread to the Pure Tone input jack that I got from Dylan Talks Tone. And when that comes, I'm going to swap it out, and that'll work. I don't really need to make another video about that because I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. It's just more about longevity and a better input jack than what you've got from the import Fender stuff, the Squier stuff. So did I have any real problems while I was doing this? Well, if you watched the first video, you saw that I did have an issue with the pickups, one of the screws in the pickups, the screw hole in the actual neck pickup. It was a stripped, basically. It was too big for the screw. So you couldn't adjust the pickup up and down. So I had to, I could have returned it, but I decided instead just to go to an Ace Hardware, and I was able to find screws that were just slightly larger. I mean, they were almost exactly the same, but they were slightly larger. Enough so that way I had to kind of push it through and re-thread the hole, and now it's perfect. It moves up and down. Everything is solid. The pickups sound great, so I'm not worried about it at all. The Dylan Talks Tone stuff, as you've seen in this video, I had a little issue with the input jack. I pulled out the stupid, there's a little there's a little clip that's clawed into the wood that holds the jack in. I pulled that out like a dummy because I was having a problem getting the Dylan Talks Tone input jack into the cup, the Telecaster cup that was on the outside of the Squier. I did eventually get it to fit, which sucks because I had taken that stupid little clip out, and the stupid clip on the inside, without that clip, it just doesn't hold in place. So I ended up ordering one off Amazon, which is the right size for a Squier Classic Vibe. It's the right size for the import jack that comes in the Squier. It's not the right size for a full-size jack, a bigger jack that you get in an actual Fender. Okay, and since the parts that are being used on the Dylan Talks Tone stuff are Fender sizing, it doesn't fit that. Plus, the one that I have coming from, I ordered from All Parts, it was a little bit more money. It was like $15 with the shipping, which is a little ridiculous, but whatever. It's not like the end of the world. It's only $15. That, the jack plate itself, the cup that screws in, seems like it has more of a lip on it, so it's gonna sit a little better, a little bit more flush. Like it should hopefully sit better than this one does. This one kind of sunk in a little bit. But I mean, it's in there, it's solid, but it looks a little junky because it kind of sunk in just a tad. But otherwise it all works. Everything sounds good and it all works. So that's all that really matters. But yeah, so there you go. Hi, my name is Jay Byrne. I am the creator of the EFX Loop and the SFX Loop. It's come to my attention after looking at my YouTube analytics that the majority of my viewers are not subscribed. So if you like this kind of content, please subscribe to the channel if you're so inclined. If you have something to say, leave a comment in the comment section below. Maybe click the notification bell so that way if I make a new video, you'll be notified and you can check it out if it's something that you're interested in. If you like this stuff, like, subscribe, and comment. And I thank you for watching and supporting the EFX Loop and the SFX Loop.